Hi, this is Galen from Local Motors. Just wanted to tell you about the special tube bender that I designed and recently finished building and finished plumbing today. It's a large radius die style bender, so it's not a roller, it's an actual bender. But what's unique is it's capable of fitting very large die sizes. And the reason this came about is the cruiser that we're building has two very large radius bends in the upper part of the frame and then a real sharp 180 at the bottom of the frame. The 180 was no problem to do on a normal bender because the smaller radius, but when you get into the real big radius, like 14-15 inches, not only do manufacturers make a die for that radius, but the typical benders can't even fit a die that big. The maximum would be like a 7-inch radius. So what we have here is a bender that's based off of like a Pro Tools 105 or a JMR bender as far as the hole spacing goes, so it can use existing dies, but it's been extended and enlarged to use a very large custom die that I'll be building later this week, so we can do those 14-inch radius bends for the cruiser frame. Also, if you look, the ram is also very big, just so that it could get enough angle, push enough angle out of the bend arm to get your full 180 bends and make it very simple to use. Yeah, if you'll notice, this bender, it's actually a vertical style bender, which helps save space. It's a little bit different to use if you're used to a horizontal style. Typically you would use an angle finder to judge your bends. I will be mounting a degree wheel, so you can use it either way, but it is a little different for some people to use. But it's actually very intuitive if you're just starting out using a bender. These plans will be offered on the Forge very soon when I can get to posting them on there. I probably will also post the plans for this die, because this is going to be a shop-made die that we'll be building for this, so that might inspire some people to make their own dies for custom projects. And today I actually just finished plumbing the tube bender, plumbing all the hydraulic lines, getting it all bled. So let's go check it out, see what it looks like. Alright, so here it is. Here's the real deal. This is real metal, no computer drawings here. Just finished all the plumbing, had the lines made locally, but you can buy these lines online. The actual pump and reservoir head is from Northern Tool, as is the red ram you see here, and the 4-way valve body. Overall, like, parts basically for the ram and lines and pump and everything is around $1,000, so it actually comes out a little bit cheaper than commercial benders, which was kind of nice. This is just 2x2 square tubing, 120 wall, mild steel, nothing real special there. And if you come around here, you can see basically where all the magic happens. This is a Pro Tools brand die for their 105 bender. It's real common. A lot of benders take this die. A lot of benders that people build take this die, so that's why I went with that. They offer a lot of radius sizes and degree sizes. This is like 120 plus degree right here that we'll be using for the lower part of the cruiser frame. And you can see how long the arm is in relation to the die. Kind of gives you a good scale of how much bigger this bender is than typical benders. And with the 14-inch die that you saw in the CAD drawing, that of course will come down to about here and produce very nice bends. One other interesting feature about this bender that you may or may not have noticed is it is all TIG welded, and typically that's not something people use to produce just machinery. Not to say this isn't a precise piece of machinery, but it's definitely not small by any means. The reason why I decided to TIG weld it was just kind of a challenge for myself. We are kind of in the SEMA push right now to build equipment, so time is everything, and I just wanted to push myself to see if I could do some really fast TIG welds, a lot of very fast TIG welds, and still make good time on building this. And it turned out there's some very long TIG welds all the way up on this side of this plate and around on the back side, and of course all the tubes and junctions everywhere else. But I was able to push and do a lot of beads real quick on this thing, so that was kind of cool. Another thing that helps if people out there do end up building this, You can MIG weld it. I would recommend MIG welding it, but if you're looking for a challenge, definitely good TIG welds will help the appearance of this thing, and also reduce the warpage if you're planning on doing very, very long beads all the way down. But I would recommend doing a stitched MIG weld with a fast forward whip if you do end up MIG welding it. So this was the first piece of tubing that I bent with this. It's an 1.1/8 chromoly, 65 wall for the cruiser frame. I just eyeballed this bend, and it actually came out to be almost the lower part of the frame. Then what I did was I flipped it around, actually shoved it in the die, and bent it again to see how tight I could get this bend in relation to this one. And there's only about an inch of flat between bend to bend. So a lot like the Pro Tools bender or a JMR bender, you can still shove it into your tube cradle and still get really close consecutive bends. Also, because this is vertically oriented, when you stick the tube in it and let go and just kind of let it sit, it's very easy to eyeball it and check to see if it's vertical. So it makes it very easy to get the bends in plane with each other. And if you set it on a flat surface, you can see that they're very much in plane. And that was just eyeballing. That wasn't using a level or anything. So by nature, a vertical bender is very easy to do quick bends in plane. So that should help us a lot with producing the cruiser also. In addition, we can make whatever dies we want for square tube and other radiuses, from about 15 inches all the way down to 3 inches for this. So hope to see a lot of cool projects that use bent tubes in the future, put this thing to work.